Uh, a very good evening to all of you. Ashish, let me know if I'm audible to all.
Yes, Arundhati, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So thank you all for joining us for yet another session of Tech Day Friday today. I am Arundhati Kalane from Channel Marketing Team for Panel Builder Channel in India. As the technology keeps evolving with a rapid pace, continuous learning becomes the way forward to stay relevant and stay ahead. It's great to see all of you joining to the Tech Day Friday sessions so regularly. It's building up as a great knowledge sharing program where we are able to connect with all of you regularly on various technical topics with an intent to equip you to adopt some of the best practices in the industry. The recordings of these sessions are also made available to all of you for a review at a later time. Keep providing your feedback on the sessions, and also you can reach out to your nearest sales box in case you wish to have a specific topic which needs to be covered under this series. So as for today, we will be exploring the SEE electrical software suite and its features. We have with us Mr. Pradeep Kumar as the technical expert for today's session. Pradeep has an industry-wide experience of more than 25 years working across several domains in sales and marketing. And currently, Pradeep is heading the country sales operation for IGE+XAO. So without further ado, let's tune into today's session for more details. Do keep posting your questions in the chat, and we shall be answering it during the session, as well as we can take certain questions towards the end of the sessions. Thank you and happy learning. Over to you, Pradeep.
Thank you, Arundhati, and good evening, everybody. So, again, a cross check. Ashish, am I audible and visible?
Yes, Pradeep, very much. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, good evening, all, and welcome to this edition of Tech Day Friday. We are in the middle of a festival season. Today is Vinayak Immersion, and we also have a lot of flooding in many cities. So, we know that it's a challenging time, but I'm very happy to have people on board to hear us out on this new software suite of Schneider. So, like Arundhati said, I have more than 25 years experience, out of which close to 20 years are with Schneider across various roles, and including sales, including key account management, including prescription, and also solution sales. So there have been times where I have worked with panel builders where I've been uh, taking offers from them, where I bid for Schneider own MSET panels, which we used to manufacture in Nasik, and then we moved to Baroda. Then I worked with a lot of block set partners when we introduced block set into the market, and bid both direct as well as help the partners bid to the customers. So in my 20 years in Schneider, I've been interfacing with panel builders in various roles. Even when I was in operational marketing, I used to interact with a lot of panel builders to understand their pain areas, to see how we can support them in their journey. So I'm sure you will agree with me that the engineering team with panel builders, they work on the same project twice. Once when they are bidding for the job, which we call as tendering, and the second when we execute the job, when we get the job. And the importance of the engineering team is there in both the sessions, because if we are not spot on in tendering stage, you don't get the order, right? And if you are not spot on during execution, you lose money. So some of the points which come on for the pressure on the engineering team is always deliver the documents on time. Being a sales guy, I know salesperson will never give time, but whenever there is an inquiry on the table, they want the offer today. If there is a revision, they want the offer in the same hour. So there's a lot of pressure to deliver the output in terms of the engineering, the designing the offer on time. Then we also want the offer to be predictable. I mean, the way the customer demands. One customer may want a commercial, techno-commercial offer. Another customer may want including GA drawings. A third customer may want including some detailing also. So the sales always expects the engineering team to come back and deliver exactly what the customer needs in a predictable way. The third thing is, of course, you have to be under budget. You cannot be quoting a job where you add everything and then you become expensive, because if you are over the budget, you don't win the order. Somebody else goes ahead and takes the order, right? Then the fourth thing is optimized. Yes, you have to meet the specification, but then your solution should be optimized to the best extent possible, not only with respect to the products what are specified, but also with rest of the components which are not specified but go into the making of the panel. And finally, you have to be mistake free. There is no room for error. You can't submit offers, you can't submit drawings where customers or consultants come out and point out mistakes and then you have to redo it again. So these are certain things which are always good to have with the engineering team, with any panel builder have, but they seldom be there in our vocabulary. We time and again face the challenge where these are desired things, but we are not able to deliver. So what could be the solution? How can we deliver a solution system which is on time, predictable, it's under budget and optimized and with as less of errors as possible? So the solution lies for all of us to go digital and with the right type of software. So when you go digital, you bring a predictability in your system, right? And you use the light software, you ensure that there are less errors and there are more details available what customers require. So what could be the some of the benefits of going digital with software? Can help in design optimization as per customer needs. So we are moving in an era where more and more designs are getting type tested as per the latest standards 61439. This market is growing, but still 80% of the market is the non 61439 market. Still, there are customers who have site limitations and they want some customization in the panels. Like the height of the room is less than 2 meters, you need to make a small panel. The feeder lists are only 400 amps or 630 amps, so the type test designs don't hold good. The mixture is beyond what you have already tested. So you need to design your own panel, and this is where a software can help you to optimize the design what you go through. Since you make a non-standard panel or a customized panel, then you need to manufacture something new, which means that there could be some manufacturing problems. When you go digital with the right software, you can create a digital twin of a panel before you even manufacture it, which means you can visualize what will come out tomorrow in the shop floor and you can make the corrections right now so that you don't waste anything at the shop floor and you also make it quite fast. The third advantage is that you can accommodate last minute changes efficiently. Many a times it has been found, and I'm sure you will agree, that what comes in the tender document is not what the customer wants in the project. You submit the drawings and then customer asks changes. There will be one revision, two revision, not because of mistakes by you alone, but also because customer site requirements have changed. In the tender, customer thought it was a 100 HP motor running the compressor. But by the time you won the order, the customer placed an order to the compressor guy, and now the motor rating is 150 HP, which means the drawings have to change. Even if you have an approved drawing and you start manufacturing the panel, when the customer comes for an inspection at your site, they can give you some suggestions. You know what? I like this, but why don't you change the rating of the contactor? Or why don't you add two more auxiliaries to it? And we will oblige, we will do it because customer is king and we have to change the drawings. So if you are digital with the right software, you can change the drawings at the last moment so that your as built drawings are exactly what they were, incorporating all customer comments online. Finally, we are looking in an era of digitization of panels. We want each one of you to give a QR code with your panel. And today you scan a QR code, every information is available on the product. If you scan the QR code of Schneider product, you will get the catalogs, you will get the manuals. We want you to do the same with your panel. Put a QR code, scan, put all the catalogs of various products inside, put your maintenance manual, and also put all the digital drawings what you created, what the GA, the schematics, the bill of material, so that tomorrow at any given point of time, when customer wants to refer to any documentation, they don't need to go through pages of physical document. They can scan it and see it digitally. Customer will appreciate that you are also in the digital journey and you are helping customer to be in the digital journey, which means that together we are creating a more sustainable planet. So what's the software which can help you solve all these problems and give all these benefits? So we introduce here the software called C Electrical from IGE+XAO group. So what's this IGE+XAO group? I will explain you shortly. But what this software will do, it's a software which will help your workforce being optimized, both in the design phase as well as in the manufacturing phase. We talked about the challenges in the design phase. So this software can help you in automated creation of documentation, automated cross references of various products which are there inside the software, and data imports from third-party software or other softwares which we use, like maybe an Excel or maybe some PDF document or maybe some other drawing files, whatever it may be. In the build phase, again, we said it can avoid trial and error approach, so it can optimize your manufacturing process. It can create precise manufacturing documentation, which means you can take output from the software directly to your CNC machines for punching holes, for creating base plates, or for punching holes for glands. You can create the output for generating your bus bar drawing. What is the length of the bus bar? What is the angle at which it has to be bent for making the corrections and all. And it can also help you in assisting for an error-free cabling and the assembly of the various products. We'll see it in detail. But then what's IGE+XAO? Why are we talking about IGE+XAO inside Schneider? So IGE+XAO is a company which is based out of Toulouse in France, and they have been in this market of computer-aided design as well as product lifecycle management for over 34 years. It's quite an old company. So started by two individuals, IGE by Charles Baudron and XAO by Alain de Crescenzo, both based out of France, and they got merged during the journey sometime. Today, it employs more than 400 engineers, out of which close to 150 are in R&D and design. And we all say Schneider invests 5% of its R&D turnover in R&D. IGE+XAO invests 25% of its turnover in R&D. And in the last 34 years, there are more than 1 lakh licenses sold worldwide of this software. So that's about IGE+XAO. How has it become part of Schneider? IGE+XAO acquired in part by Schneider in 2018, but completely in February 2022. Although it's acquired by Schneider, it continues to remain an independent company, both globally as IGE+XAO as well as in India, IGE+XAO India Private Limited. And it will remain manufacturer agnostic in its nature of software, and we will talk about it a little bit more detail. IGE+XAO also complements the EcoStruxure platform which Schneider talks about. We talk about connected products, the edge control layer, and apps and analytics. And now we add the software layer on top of it. The software layer, which is brought in by acquisitions of Schneider, the various companies being Alpi, ETAP, RIB, Planon, and IGE+XAO. So you will hear more and more Schneider talking about the software layer, which gets integrated into its overall EcoStruxure layer. So the software is called C Electrical. C is the short form of software for electrical engineering. It's as simple as that. And please remember, this C is a name given to the software 30 years back. It's not a name given after acquisition of Schneider. It's been there for more than 30 years. And to know more about the organization, you can go directly to IGXAO.com/IEN to hear about the history and the various, landmarks and milestones which they have found. So coming back to the software, what's C Electrical? So the software suite C Electrical comprises of a variety of softwares. Some of them are shown in the screen. The first one being C Electrical, which we will explore in more detail today. But we'll also touch upon some of the other softwares in this slide, which I will go through one by one. So the C Electrical is the electrical CAD software. It will help you to create wiring diagrams. It will help you for cross-referencing. It will help you to create your reports much faster, and it will help you in the design portion of your journey. And we will delve into more detail into this. There's also a software called C Electrical Expert, which is complementary to C Electrical, but more for high-end industrial automation solutions and wiring harness designs. So organizations in OEMs like the airline industry, Airbus, or the transportation industry like Alstom, or the wind generation industry like Siemens Gamesa and all, who have a lot of wiring harness going into the system, they need a software to design it, and C Electrical Expert is that software. One more software which is of interest typically for contractors is C Electrical Building Plus, which can design small residences or small office buildings, wiring schemes, including where to put the light fixtures, where to put the switchboards, how to run the cables and all at a very basic level. All these are in the design field. Then we move to the manufacturing side, and in C Electrical suite, you have two softwares called 3D Panel Plus and 3D Shop Floor. Like I said, 3D Panel Plus is something which can help you create a digital twin of a panel which you have not yet made. It helps you visualize the switchboard. We'll touch upon it in short. 3D Shop Floor helps you to convert the design into a shop floor work instructions, which your shop floor employees can go through and ensure error-free assembly of products inside the shop floor. So let's weave into C Electrical. So like I said, it helps to create your wiring diagram and complete the electrical documentation. C Electrical is not one software. There are three softwares in C Electrical, which is basically the type of modules which come inside, and the tools and features what it has. So C Electrical comes in three options: basic, standard, and advanced. And today you will learn what are the difference between the basic, standard, and advanced, and how you can choose the right software for your needs. Let's start with C Electrical Basic. We say it's an entry-level software, but with advanced features. For people who are using a very basic level software or no software at all, switching over to C Electrical Basic is very easy. And it gives you a host of features which you have not seen before. What are those? First of all, it's intuitive and it's easy to use. And it's a software designed for electrical engineering functions. So when we say CAD, it is computer aided design. We say ECAD, which is electrical computer aided design, which means a software dedicated for electrical engineering. Extensive array of some symbols which are widely used in the industry, and I will show you some examples, are already inbuilt into the software. But you can also add some more custom symbols if you are using something which your customer said, I want these type of symbols in my drawing. You can import these symbols. You can create your own symbols. But the symbol library of the software itself is very deep. The input and output, it takes multiple formats. So you can take a DWF or a DXF or a DXB. These are some of the formats which we are very comfortable right now. These formats are compatible with this software. There is also an ACP format, which is the output from the software, but then you can also take output in these type of systems. Even the image, what you want to bring in, can be taken in JPG or bitmap or whatever it may be. Then you can have real-time and automatic functions constantly verifying your project. So it throws out errors if case something is wrong. You can create labels for terminals, wires, and components, and you can export it to your printer. So you can get those terminal markings directly to a printer from the software. Then there are some special functions like rubber band where you can, punch a couple of drawings or connections together, or redlining where you can mark a comment for somebody else to look into, all built in the basic feature. Plus many more. There are about 25 functions which come with the basic package of C Electrical. We're just listed down a few more. From basic, we move to something called standard, and this is tagged for fast production and effective management. So here there are some tools and features available which can speed up your process of drawings and help you to manage the documents, large project sizes very effectively. So it has all the features of basic, close to 25 features what I mentioned. Plus it's got a fully integrated relay contact, auxiliary contact, and cable managers and all. So the software becomes more intuitive. It helps you to design using the real-time relay contacts and all, right? Then it has an integrated equipment database cutting across multi-manufacturer. And this is what I meant when I said in the previous slide that we will continue to remain manufacturer agnostic. Any manufacturer who manufactures a product which goes inside a panel and is of use to you, you will find them in our library. And when I say panel components, I'm not talking about only the products which a company like Schneider makes, like an ACB or an MCCB or a contactor or a drive or a PLC. I'm also talking about products like connectors, like terminals, like, cable paths, like, control transformers, like meters, which may not be in our range, but you will find them in the database. This will help you to make your panels cutting across manufacturers, not binding you to any one manufacturer or any one part. Then automatic wire numbering and wiring list generation, which means that you don't nearly need to define the wires, can be numbered automatically by the system. And with this standard package, you can generate your 2D general arrangement drawing. And I'll touch upon it when we go ahead, how to generate. When you are making panels with PLCs, it also has features of automatic numbering, taken input from the Excel if you already put it. You can have a folder management, you can have hierarchical project development where you have the total project as one cover, then you have the sub projects in multiple folders and you can manage it. Then you have some features like one-click copy of one page. If you have created a page and you want to use the same page again in the project, you just click select the total page and copy paste. You don't need to redraw everything. And if you want to have some page gap of insertion between two projects or in the same workspace, you can create that. A unique feature which gets added to it is that you have access to over 1 million equipments through the C web catalog. So every day you are seeing more and more new products getting launched, products getting updated, both from Schneider as well as other manufacturers. So your library may not be updated, but you can get access to over 1 million such equipments through C web catalog, which can be subscribed once you have the standard package. So this is quite big and there are many more. So with standard, you will end up having more than 50 plus features and functions. But we don't stop at that. We have the next version called the C Electrical Advanced. Now, this is for real high speed and complex type of projects. It has all the features of basic and standard, including the access to the web catalog. But in addition, it has some more things which can help you, expedite your engineering process, like auto connection of symbols. If you use the auto connection, you put a product, it will connect to your lines immediately. Orthogonal wiring. Orthogonal wiring, if you have multiple wires running through, you can run the orthogonal wiring. drag, drop, page, copy, now not only within the same workspace, but within multiple workspaces. You can work on multiple projects parallelly, copy one page into another project also, if you find it as repetitive. Then PLC list, you can directly import from an Excel sheet. You can have a page template different for different pages if you want. You don't have to have only one page template. If you want to change it across the project, you can change it. Lot of modifications are possible, making it more user friendly and flexible. Cross references. When you have products which are linked across multiple pages, double clicking a cross reference will take you to that page. And these things come out very easily when you do the demo. Sorting out different kinds of documents to be printed. Like you don't have to print everything. You want to print only select pages or select features, you can select them and print exactly what is needed. And automatic generation of labels and tags with the report generator tools. So a lot of things which we do manually can be generated automatically by taking the advanced version. A very useful feature is one-click automatic remote generation, which means that there are a lot of reports, close to 20 reports, which you can generate. But in one click, you can generate all of them. You don't need to generate one by one. You can click generate it in one click, plus many more, another 20 odd features. So the C electrical suite comprising of basic, standard, and advanced put together, you can select what type of software you need depending upon your needs, and you know what are the features which will come out of it. But we don't stop here. Apart from this, there are some add-on modules. Now, what are those add-on modules? The first one is cabinet layout. Cabinet layout gives you a 2D visualization of how your panel will look like when you open the door, how you mount the various components, how you want to run the cable in a 2D way. You can also see how you want to fix a DIN rail or a base plate and where you want to make a cutout for punching the hole inside. Then you have something called IEEE circuit. Now in India, we follow IEC, and C electrical by default follows IEC guidelines. But if somebody wants to make something for the North American market where IEEE circuits are used, you can take that as an add-on module that is available. Then there's something called intelligent PDF or smart PDF. If you want your PDF output to be intelligent, to have the hyperlinks to the various products what you have put in your software, you can choose the option of intelligent PDF. Then you have open data. Open data is a module where you can import your data or bill of material or component list from an Excel directly into the software without having to punch or define each and everything, plus many more. So there are 3 versions of the software. There are some 4 add-on modules and many more, which I'm not talking about right. Then we come to the C Electrical 3D Panel Plus, which I talked about is the digital twin. And you can see an image, how it comes out from 3D panel, where you can see how the bus bar is bent or how the product is installed, what is the depth, what is the clearance. You can visualize all of it. So C Electrical 3D Panel Plus helps you in 2 phases. One during design phase, which is you are integrating the schematic with the panel fabrication. You can see whether products are colliding or not. There is sufficient gap. You can see how the wires can be routed. You can also measure how much wire length is required to the accurate millimeter, because you are routing the cable, and hence you can optimize on your cable cost as well as the time taken to cut the cables to the required strength. You can also import step files and also export it back. During manufacturing, it can help you in punching, giving commands for punching or drilling or cutting, for wire processing, and even for your ducts and rail cuttings. You can take outputs and cut if you have the CNC machines for those applications. So we saw C electrical suit. We also saw what is the 3D panel. Let's look at how the tool looks like. If I have to run through a live demo of the tool, it will take more than an hour only for the demo, and we would not have covered everything, of course. But I want to take you through snapshots of how the tool looks like, how the features look like, and then we take it forward. So this is the page, the first page when you open the tool with a project, and you will find it's very easy to use. It actually reminds you of the office suite, right? You have the file, new, open. The commands are similar to what we see on a day-to-day basis. The layout of the various options are also similar, right? And within the tool workspace, you have a clear-cut marking. How is the cover sheet? What are the circuit diagrams? How is the building going to be? The cabinets, the single line diagrams, if any other documents are there. If you have taken the 3D module, then 3D panel. And finally, the graphical list, which is nothing but the report. So in this page, I am showing you maybe 50% of the reports which you can generate, starting from a document list, terminal list, connector pin list, cable list, PLC list, bill of material for a feeder, bill of material for the total panel, bill of material for the total project, then wire list, the device list, circuit list, and on goes on. So it's a comprehensive list of reports which can be generated. And when you take the advanced, you can generate in a single click. If you take the standard version, you can generate each and every report as you deem wanted. So here I have opened a page with the circuit diagram. If I double click on something else, it opens that page in a separate sheet. When you go down, you will find 4 symbols. One is workspace, which is open now. The second is symbols. And this is what we are talking about, industry-wide used, huge depth of symbols. Then you see something called components, which is the different types of components and makes which we use. You also find certain features which are very similar, like how to open the icons or the size of the grid or the size, the thickness of the line, what you use, which we use on a day-to-day basis, or even if you want to fill something somewhere. You will also find something called help. You can press F1, which is what we are all used to all the time. You also have the Control C, Control V function in this, the way we copy files in Office. So we spoke about the front page and we said there are wide depth of symbols. So how does the symbol look like? This is the first page of the symbol library. Being an electrical and automation tool, you will think that most of the symbols are pertaining to electrical and automation. But we also have symbols of cables, symbols of hydraulics, symbols of refrigeration, even different types of safety signs built in. So probably you never need to search for a new symbol anywhere out. If I go and select electrical and automation, within that you have close to 40 different folders, which is grouped depending on the type of the product. Like it can be arrestor, it can be a capacitor, it can be a diode, it can be a filter, it can be contactor, it can be a relay, it can be a MPCB, it can even be a lamp, it can be a motor, whatever electrical product it may be. Going down, I have taken an example of measuring equipment, and you have again more than 50 symbols of a meter, ammeter, hour meter, clock, whatever it may be. So like this, if you go down each and every symbol folder, you will find a plethora of symbols. So probably you never need to go and figure out to get any new symbol. Then we take an example of components. So again, like I said, it's a manufacturer agnostic component, and you will find probably the first time in a Schneider presentation, so many brands put forward in the tool. But that's how the tool is. The tool is manufacturer agnostic. Tomorrow, a new manufacturer comes with a new range of products which go inside a panel. You will find it added into this. And you will find the length and breadth of manufacturers cutting across all regions. So here we see a lot of makes. We also see Schneider. And then let's look what we say inside Schneider. And again, we group the products based on the type of product, like auxiliary contactor, main contactors, drives, PLCs, MPCBs, you name them. And when you go inside further, you find the product up to the reference level. So you want to select GV2 P04, you can select. You want to select P08, you can select. On an image, they look the same, but as a product, they are different, and hence they have been taken. And when you take a product directly from the component library, you don't just take an image. You take the full product characteristics. In the 3D modeling, you will know the weight, you will know the dimension. You will know if you have taken LC1D09 as a contactor that the inbuilt 1NO1NC modules are also available inside. The product feature will show you that. So let's look at some of the outputs which this software generates. So this is the simple wiring diagram, and the red line here is what we talk about, the redlining, where you can add some comments to it. You find the numbering which are auto numbered already, which are the phases and which are the circuits. This arrow goes the cross referencing. If you double click, it will go to the 14th page, 4th column, where this line will continue. Then an example of a PLC diagram, and here you will see that we have imported a WAGO model. So how a WAGO model looks like, how the various LEDs are there, how the connectors are there, exactly how the product looks like is what comes inside. And you can plug in the list through the Excel and it will take it. The next example is the 2D cabinet layout, which I was talking about. So you have three views of it. When you open the door, how you mount the various products, whether you want to mount it close to each other in a Form 2 panel, or you want to make a Form 3 or a Form 4 panel, whichever way it is. If I remove all the products, I put a DIN rail. Where do I want to punch the holes? I can take that also and put it across. And on the door, if I am mounting the lamps, where I am going to mount the lamp and where there is going to be a hole for that. Then you can, of course, create the GA drawing, which is the front view, top view, and here is an example of a compartmental Form 3 panel. You have the bus bar, you have the modules, you have the cable chambers, all clearly marked in, and you create it as per your dimensions. Then we look at a 3D panel. How does it look like? And this is a typical representation of a 3D panel where you can turn it around 360 degrees. You can see the depth of the panel. You can see how the cables are getting routed. You can see how the cable will be routed through the door if something is mounted on the door. And this is where I was talking about that you can get the optimum size or the length of the cable, which you need to see. And you can also design how neatly you can manage the cabling. So if you are doing this at the design stage, you can be very well sure during manufacturing and assembly, your shop floor guys will do a 100% perfect job. This is one more layout of the 3D showing the cabling in more detail. And in the bottom, you will find the terminals, which you will use for the connectors and how the wiring has to be done at the terminal level also. Then there are some other reports like component list, which component is used in which page, in which cell, and you can change the table the way you want. You can customize. You can keep manufacturer here. You can keep description here the way you want it. Then the most sought after report, the bill of the wire list, which wire is going from which point to which point, what is the color of the wire, what is the square what is the length. All of this can be taken as a report. The bill of materials. And when I say the bill of materials, the panel bill of material, whatever you have inputted, cutting across a socket, a connector, a drive, a cable, a switch gear, with the manufacturer name, which the part number, how many quantity, and if it is a cable, what is the length, all coming out by the click of a button. Some more reports like connectors, the terminal strips, even up to that level, you can define and take an output and give it to the customers as they deem fit. So these are only 6 or 7 reports. Like I said, there are more than 30 reports available in the software, and you can customize what you want. You can customize how you want to present, and you can take printout of whatever you require in case you require a printout. Otherwise, you can convert into PDFs or any other format and submit your customers for approvals or for final documentation. So when you sell software, you definitely need somebody to give you a backup. So we have a very, very strong technical team to support you in your journey for onboarding as well as for utilization. Like I said, out of the 400 odd people in Schneider, in the company worldwide, more than 150 are in technical R&D, design, support, backend. Even in India, right now we have a team member strength of 5, which we are going to expand very soon. But out of 5, 4 of them are technical experts who can support you across during onboarding, during maintenance, or even at any point of time. So we have more than 1 lakh licenses sold, and you will find a lot of names, customers who are leveraging the power of the software. See electrical, you will find people both in India, you will find people cutting across segments, and you will find a lot of satisfied customers who have been using it for many years now. So before I end, I'm playing a small video. It's a customer testimonial of a panel builder from Denmark. The language will not be English, but there is a translation going down, and it's a fairly simple video. I hope you enjoy the video. So in case you couldn't follow the video because the subtitle is not clear, so it's a panel builder using C Electrical who was earlier using AutoCAD and then he upgraded and they're utilizing all the functions. They talked about copper, but that basically means bus bar because in Europe they use only copper bus bar, but you can use the same for aluminium also. It doesn't make any difference. It's just the profile and the dimensions and the cross section and the angle at which it has to be bent. So what do we do now? So there are 3 steps towards your upgradation to the new software, right? So you've gone through the session today. I'm sure you will have more questions. So what you can do, you can first ask for your dedicated demo session. Our team will be happy to give you the demo. Call your entire engineering team and ask as many questions as possible and get it clarified. Then you can have the trial version downloaded from the site IGE+XAO.com if you want to play around. The trial version is valid for 30 days, but you can create only 2 sheets, but you can explore all the options in case you need to do. Then get the software on a permanent or a subscription basis. Yeah, we can give you the software on a permanent lifetime basis or an annual subscription basis. You can give a license fixed, which is fixed to one laptop or PC, or a floating, which can be used in multiple systems, but one at a time. So you choose which type of version you want, you choose the way you want to buy it, you choose the add-on modules you require as per your requirement, right? And then embark on the journey and towards your upgradation, towards your digitization, towards creating an error-free documentation for your customers, and towards being more efficient and productive at your pace. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much for a patient hearing and open for questions. Arundhati, you can tell me if there are some
Sure.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah, Pradeep. First of all, thank you for a very, I think, calm voice modulated session. I think most of the benefit has been passed to the audience of today's session. Thank you very much. And I see a couple of questions which are around the software cost estimation part. So does this software help in estimation of the panels? That is the first.
Okay. So The software will help in the estimation of the cost. How? Because when you do the engineering of the panel, you put all the components which go inside the panel and you select from the references. And when you take an output as a bill of material, you get the output not only, like I said, of switchgear or drives, but of every component which goes inside. So the first part of identifying what all goes inside the panel will come out. In terms of what is the cost, now cost depends upon what is the market price of each of those products. So you will be maintaining your own library, library of all the product price list, whatever discounts different people are giving, what is the current running price, and what is the BOQ price. Like somebody, if you buy 100, this is the price. If you buy 1,000, this is the price. So you put the price there. So you can take the consolidated bill of material into an Excel, add the price by cross-referencing the references from your ready-made library, and then you can take out the overall cost of the panel. Yeah, it can support you in that.
Okay, and then there is also a question as to since there is a launch of iBlock Pro software and there is also an eco-structure story that Schneider has to unfold. Uh, how does this IGXAO fit into the entire narrative? I believe that's the question because it's a bit about what are the future plans
Okay.
as we have these two options already.
Okay, sure. So for people who have asked iBlock Pro, so that means they are a block set partner. So okay. There is a global software in Schneider which works on the copper block set. But in India, we use 90% of these panels on aluminum. So iBlock Pro is a India for India offer to help our block set partners to estimate and design the block set panels. So it has the transfer file of block set. It can generate the panel design as per block set transfer file. When I say panel design, it will recommend the width of the panel, the depth of the panel, depending upon what feeder you are putting as per the block set type tested design. Now, how does C electrical differ from it? C electrical is not a design only software. Like it will not recommend what is the dimension of the panel to be used. You as a user will define that I want the width to be 600 mm or depth to be 800 mm because you designed your own panel. Some other panel builder may say, no, I want width of only 500 mm, which is fine. The electrical will take it and it will take it. But what it will help you is it will help you in engineering the panel as per the dimension what you said. It will help you to run the schematics, create the interlocks, create the wiring profiles and all what you needed. So I would say that it will not contest with iBlock Pro, like I'm out to say, because iBlock Pro is dedicated only for block set. And even block set panel builders, sometimes they make some other panels because customer requirements are not 100% block set. So they define their own panels and see if electrical can help you in that also. Plus, you found somewhere in the presentation also that C electrical is manufacturer agnostic. So it will help you select any make of any product which goes inside the panel. iBlock Pro is more Schneider design with Schneider switchgear for Schneider block set design. So both will coexist in future also. That's what I feel, and that's how both are part of our EcoStructure story. Both are part of the digitization journey, and both will support our panel builders as well as block set partners in this journey.
Perfect. So, in a nutshell, iBlock Pro is something which is very dedicated to the block set application. It can help them in costing as well as designing. So that's a very dedicated solution for block set only. But this IGXAO will be vendor agnostic, as you said, and it helps them design the panels for their own consumption.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And
So I see a question, is it possible for only PCC PDBs also, or only standalone cabinet 3D possible? So yes, it is possible for all types of combinations. The example typically to generate a video, they have put it as a standalone cabinet, but you can do this.
Hello, Pradeep. We had lost you for some time.
Pardon?
Can you
Sorry,
just
Arundhati,
hello?
yeah, I lost you. Can you come again?
Yes. So the question is, have we mapped all the Schneider products in this software?
Okay, okay. So again, I mean, let me tell you the journey. The organization is 34 years old, but the acquisition of Schneider is about 2 years back, I would say that way. However, the library has a huge amount of Schneider references already. Why? Because the software have been based out of France and Europe, and Schneider was the leading brand there. So there's a lot of demand from customers. Hence, it has huge amount of library of Schneider products. Is it up to date till yesterday? The answer is no, because it's an evolving process. There is continuous new launches which come, product updates which happen, and there is a version updates of the software which parallelly happen, where we try to update the software. So you will find new versions and releases, maybe every 6 months or 3 months, for various modules. Like the web catalog may be updated maybe in January, the C electrical software itself may be updated maybe in March, and you will find the libraries getting updated as it goes by. It will never be 100% fully equipped library, but you can always add on. So not only can you use the inbuilt library, not only can you take it from the web catalog, but you can also import it from third party and update your own library. So definitely all three functions are there. Yes, you will find close to 80-90% of Schneider products there, but you will also find other manufacturer products also there. Like I say, we continue to remain vendor agnostic.
So there's one more question on the purchase of this software. So if you can just take them through the journey, that first the demo and how they can purchase this software.
Okay. So like I said, it's always better to go through a dedicated demo so that you see a live demo of the software, how the various options are clicked, how do you generate, and your engineering team can also take it, and you can also download it, and the trial version, and different people can play on it, so you know exactly what the tool can do for you and what you require. When you have to purchase today, we do only direct sales, and like I said, India, it is IGE+XAO India Private Limited based out of Bangalore. You need to place an order on them, and they will give you the software access overnight. And when you buy the software, it's not that you buy the software. You buy the software and then the training starts. Depending upon what all modules you have bought, or even if you buy basic standard software, at least you will have dedicated training running across 4 or 5 sessions of 1.5 to 2 hours each to help you navigate all the options and help you create the thing. So that training will be more detailed, hands-on for you, will allow you to make the drawings on your own, correct you, answer your queries, and all to make you, sufficient, self-sufficient on the software. So the journey will be there with you. If you add on modules, then there will be dedicated training sessions for the add-on modules also.
Perfect. Then there is a question on, is it possible to take measurements of the wires that are required?
Yes, when you take the 3D module, where you mount the products and then you show the how the connections are made, you will get the length of the wire also. I have also shown you in the component list as well as in the cable list, you will get the length of the wire which will be used.
Next is 3D possible for complete PCC PDBs or only standalone cabinets?
No, it is possible. I already answered that. Yeah, it is possible. Yeah. Only the example shown in the video or as well as in the PPT for a cabinet, but it is possible for the complete panel. Yeah.
All right. Then there is a question on is it possible to get the temperature rise calculation along with short circuit calculation?
So the simple answer is no, because this is not a panel building design software. It's an engineering software. Your temperature rise calculations come from design calculations. Those are not part of the purview of the
There's also a question about the data security.
okay.
So it's an open question.
Yeah, I know. So this question has been asked in the past also. So like, where does the data stay, and what will you do with my data, and all those things. So the software lies in your premises, in your laptop, in your server, wherever you keep. Okay. So the software, and you can be disconnected from the net, and you can work on your own, and there is no access. When you need a support, and when you ask us to connect, or when you connect for an upgrade, is when you need the internet to connect. Otherwise you can work on standalone mode and do it. There is no data being captured from us in terms of what projects you are doing or what you're doing the software, unless you get stuck up and you want to share with us. In that way, it's kept it with you only. So you can be rest assured on that. Going forward, we will also be talking about the cyber security level, because that's what everybody talks about in software, and we will update you on that also very shortly. But right now, you can be rest assured the software sits in your system, in your laptop, in your server, and not on the web. And hence, you are in total control of the software. You can build your firewalls along it, and it will work fine.
Perfect. I think this is answered a couple of times, but still there's a question that there's a huge amount of data related to Schneider in the software, but do we have equally good amount of data for the competitor makes as well, particularly ABB, Siemens, and L&T?
Yeah. So yes. So I have not calculated how many references of Schneider and how many references of Siemens or ABB, but yes, a lot of references are there, and those can be added on also. So it's not that you can't add. You can definitely add on more references, and again, it's a global software, so there will be a lot of references which probably we don't use. But if there are some references which only we use and no other country uses, we can update those also into the software. So it's an evolving software. It's not you bought once and it will never get upgraded. No. Right now, the version which is going is V8R3. So which means 24 updates have happened, and there is a V8R4 also coming very soon. So software will keep updating, new references will keep getting added all the time. Not only of Schneider, but all manufacturers. And again, don't limit to ABB or Siemens. We are talking about WAGO, we are talking about LAP, we are talking about some ConnectWell, we are talking about some other, any other panel component which goes.
All right. Okay, and then I think this is a very pointed question on the cost or rough estimate on the software, whether it's a basic version or in terms of number of users.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you can give a structure around it or an approximation.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think we will take this as the last call for today, but we can take more questions. So the cost depends on one, what model you take, which is basic, standard, advanced. Then how many licenses you have, okay, which is a simple multiplication. Then you want it for one machine, or you want it as a floating license. A lot of people, because they have 2-3 people working, but they want to experiment with only one license to begin, they take a floating license. A floating license typically costs 20-25% more than a fixed license. Then you are looking at whether you want to take it on the subscription mode, which is what the world is going towards, by the way. More and more things are going on the subscription mode. You buy for an year, like your Amazon or a Netflix, and then end of the year you renew it, which means every time you buy for a year, you also have the maintenance included. So you have the support all the time with you. But you can also, if you want, we still continue to have the perpetual license, which is you buy once, you don't need to buy again, but then you only pay for maintenance, like an AMC contract. So there are a lot of permutations and combinations in which you can buy the software. So I will give you a broad price band. You can buy a software for as little as 20,000 rupees, or you can take the entire suite for about 5 lakh rupees. But then it depends on what all you need, how you want to buy it, and how you want to take it. So there's a wide spectrum, and typically that's why we encourage people to come for the demo, because in demo, when you see what functions each step can do, you can decide which model you want to stop at and what add-on modules you want to take, and hence we can then work out the price and give it to you.
All right. And one last question is, do we have a software model which is hosted on the cloud?
This software is not hosted on the cloud. So I am not aware if there is one more software which is hosted on the cloud. Like I said, this software is hosted in your server, in your laptop. So I'm not aware if there is another model on the cloud.
Perfect. Okay, that's it for today's questions. I think a great session, and I think with the questions, we feel that it was useful and interactive from the participant side as well. I would request that to all the participants, should there be any further clarifications required, or you wish to have a dedicated demo for your team, do reach out to us. You can contact either your nearest salesperson, they can relay it to us, or I have also entered the email ID for Pradeep and myself. We can also take your query forward and come back to you with the demo. So thank you very much to the audience for making this an engaging session despite of all the festivities. And thank you, Pradeep, for sparing your time and sharing the knowledge on SE Electrical Software Suite. Thank you.
Thank you all and have a great
Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you, Arundhati. I mean, it was a great session. So there are a few questions which we could not answer because of the constraint of the time, but yeah, still, I mean, definitely we'll get back to all these questions in near future. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.